You just describe your process working with Hummerts and anything that stuck out, to make the experience as easy as possible.
Yeah, I think the first thing with Hummers, teaching 33 years, I've been to all the ag teacher conferences in June. Hummers was always there, and other greenhouses were there too. The one thing about Hummers, they said everything's going to work and we'll take care of you. And that's what I found out from the other ag teachers. That you go with Hummers, you got a problem, you don't have to, as an ag teacher, try to figure out everything. And, as an ag teacher, you got 300 careers, you're supposed to know everything, and it's hard to know everything. So you rely on experts when you get in a bind. That's where we call on Hummers to kind of help us out. And this greenhouse is going to be something that's not going to be there for 10 years, 15 years. It's there for, to me, a lifetime and generations, and it's something that the community's proud of. They know it's going to be there, and we're going to learn all the controls and how to do the netting on top, and the curtain on top, the louvers on the top, the cooling systems, the heating systems, the irrigation systems, and so the kids can learn how to manage a greenhouse, plus maybe go in some other businesses to operate and figure out how to sell their product, their marketing, their management, and be able to do something on their own that way.
Cool. And now that you've been through the process of constructing a greenhouse on campus here, do you have any final advice for a teacher or school that's thinking about putting up a greenhouse?
Well, if you want something to last, you got to get the experts to do it. That's why I see it. I mean, we get the construction with Hummers as a greenhouse, and then you had the construction crew that came in there. And I myself, I'm a farmer and a teacher, and I've done it for 33 years. My students come first before my hogs and cattle and all that, but I could never do it and stay with it to get it up myself, and then it'd be something that would last for 5 or 10 years. This is a permanent structure that's going to be there, and the community is going to benefit because it's something you're going to be proud of instead of something that's about tilting and going to fall down. And I didn't want that. They said, why don't you guys just build it with your ag students? Well, that's a tall task. When you got 292 kids in your ag program, we're all going to piecemeal this thing together. That's just like asking for a miracle. I don't think it could happen. I mean, you're going to be ashamed of what you come up with. And I watched them every step of the way. Took a picture every day of them building this greenhouse, and it just came together so nicely, and you knew they were doing. You saw those big bolts in the concrete. You saw everything going up, and those guys just knew what they were doing when they constructed that with that very sturdy frame to it and all the other components that went together.
So, John, what are you most excited about the greenhouse for? What do you hope the students will gain from it?
Well, I think the number one thing they'll gain from it is just confidence in growing a plant, so that maybe they can grow one on their own. Flowers, they can enjoy their flowers, but I think the vegetable gardens and all the vegetables, they can grow them in their gardens in the town, because most of our kids in our ag program are from town. And so they can grow them in town and say, hey, I can do this to ice cream, I want to grow it at home. They don't have that excitement right now. So once they do it, they'll plant those tomatoes and peppers and okra and cucumbers and squash, and then all of a sudden, they don't have to rely on that money to go to the store and buy that kind of product. I think we can do research in there too, and I think the research would be great for the kids also. So I mean, the kids are worried about the trees, the oak trees, and worried about the wasp biting those galls on the pin oaks, and now they're going to the shingle oaks. They want to do some research on that. We always have ag science experiments, but I think the kids will learn experiments. They're going to learn confidence. They'll learn pride. I always tell kids you got to raise a pet before you have a child. They can raise a plant too, and show that they can see the fruit of that plant come on too. So I think it's more than just growing the plants. It's confidence. It's going to be leadership. It's going to be cooperation, working together, and not fighting over the plants, but trying to get encouragement from each other besides their ag teachers. And I just think they got the best technology with this new Hummers greenhouse, that they can, have all the controls, and we can teach them how to use the controls. Irrigation, they'll just irrigate a few on their own, but most of it's going to be irrigation off the tables and the way that's set and the timing of the spraying. And they need to learn how not to water them too much, because otherwise their plants don't grow either. So I think they're going to get a lot of benefit from this greenhouse.